Hello and welcome to Sport Vibes on DNT Work. My name is Bolaji Alimi, the sports pilot, and I'm your host. This week we'll be taking a trip across major football leagues in Europe, as many of them have finally come to a conclusion. We're taking the trip across these leagues and taking lessons from them. Stay tuned and get set. Welcome back to Sport Vibes on DNT Work. We did mention that we would be taking a trip across several leagues in Europe, football leagues, to look at how every team, most of the teams rather, fared at the end of the season. You're talking about the major European leagues, the top 5 leagues. When you talk about the Serie A in Italy, AC Milan won the league for the first time in 11 years. That's a long time, but finally they have their hands on the Scudetto. And in England, Manchester City eventually won the league in England. That one went down to the wire, but eventually they just had more than Liverpool. Disappointing for Liverpool on their parts, but kudos to them for the kind of fights they put up. And nobody wanted to see a farmers league, as many people would put it. You don't want a one-horse race in a league, and so kudos to Liverpool for putting the fight up to Manchester City, I beg your pardon, till the final moments of the season, really, because Manchester City were up against a very spirited Aston Villa side who had a former Liverpool player, 2 former Liverpool players really, one still playing in Philippe Coutinho, and of course Steven Gerrard being the coach of Aston Villa. These were the guys that were up against Manchester City, and several Liverpool fans were hoping these guys, especially the legend Steven Gerrard, would just do Liverpool a favor this time. But a quick lesson from that is that you should never put your hopes in someone else's hands. You know, as much as we need people's help in life, we need external assistance as we move on. You can't do it all by yourself. But it should be noted that most of it will be done by you. You have the right to take responsibility. There is a definite active helper that God has placed in his children who is alive, and you have to just rely on him to help you in your endeavors. Linking this to our lives now, because when you consider how Liverpool went in their season, they've had a fantastic season so far. Of course, the Champions League final still to come up against Real Madrid, and the coach Jurgen Klopp mentioning the fact that the loss of the league would spur them on, would increase their desire to go on to win the Champions League against Real Madrid. So no quadruple for Liverpool definitely, but there's still a chance for a triple. They already have the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup in the bag. I'm still talking about the truth that when you have your fate in your hands, it is much better than relying on external help. You want to put it in context that Liverpool faced Manchester City in the FA Cup semi-finals this season, and they defeated Manchester City. So probably if Liverpool were to be up against Manchester City to determine the league winners, maybe they would have been the champion by now. But there is no time to be lamenting over spilled milk. Liverpool still a very, very good side. By all standard, this would have been a league-winning side with the kind of points they accrued, the kind of goals they scored, the amount of goals they scored. This would have been enough to win the league in some other season. But talking about high standards, the standards in the Premier League keeps getting higher and higher per season. So quickly before we move on, lesson number 1: do not live your life. Do not leave the crucial things that matter to you to someone else. Do not wait until someone else prays for you. We need people to pray for us, but no one will be as passionate as you would be for yourself in the place of prayer, especially over those circumstances where you know you need God's help. You can't do it alone. You need an external help, a divine help in this situation. Don't just contract your prayers out. Things you should take for yourself, praying for your family members, praying about that business that is refusing to grow, praying about your studies, praying about anything at all. It is good you have someone else pray for you. We need assistance, as I mentioned earlier. But when you have things that you should do for yourself, as Liverpool had the opportunity earlier, because we should not forget that Liverpool had their chances. Manchester City played 38 games in the season. Liverpool played 38 games as well. So this is not like Manchester City played more games than Liverpool. It's just about the team that took the responsibility themselves at times that matter. So before we move ahead, I perceive we should deliver another quick lesson from here, and it's about being faithful with little things, being faithful about the little things, the little chances and opportunities that come our way. You know, several times we want the big events to announce us, we want the big time to come for us to celebrate and make most of it, but truly, as we've said on this program time and again, Life is like a compound made of several elements. Those decisions you make at those little times, a little here, a little there, they compound to make a whole body. So whatever you do with the first game of the season could even determine whether you would go on to win the league or get relegated, qualifying for Europe or not. You see teams like Arsenal also lamenting in a way at the end of the season. Almost all season long, they had a chance to secure the Champions League place, the fourth position, but one way or the other, they allowed it slip towards the end of the season. And now, yes, maybe not a bad result totally, they are now in the Europa League. They will be representing England in the Europa League next season, but definitely, if you ask the Arsenal hierarchy and Mikel Arteta, what they would have wanted is that Champions League spot that has so eluded them since the era of Coach Arsene Wenger, former Coach Arsene Wenger. So all we are saying is that make most of those little chances you have. And one way to be faithful with these little things is to be grateful for them. I'll repeat that again. One way to be faithful with little chances that come your way, little blessings you receive, little in quotes, because our definition of little varies per person. One way to be faithful with them is to be grateful. Be grateful to your boss for greeting you on your birthday, even if it does not get you a gift. Be thankful to that person that gave you a pencil, and you might eventually get a pen or a book from the person some other time. But if you do not give thanks, if you do not appreciate little things, there is a very slim chance of you getting a bigger one. Do not keep complaining. Be grateful for the family you have while you're expecting multiplication in whatever area of your family. Be grateful for those that are available for you. Be grateful for the relationships you have already. Probably you trust in God for better levels of connection. Be grateful for the level you've attained in your academics. Looking for a doctorate degree, whatever degree you're looking for, be grateful for the one you have already. Because if you don't cherish that, in a way it affects the way you handle more blessings to come. So all we are bringing this down to is that probably this is not to put any dent on what Liverpool have done this season or some other teams that missed out on what they targeted at the beginning of the season. But maybe if they're taking some other chances more seriously at the beginning of the season, maybe if those games where they got a draw or lost, maybe if they had done better, just maybe, you keep saying maybe this time of the season they would not have to wait for Aston Villa to do them a favor against Manchester City. And talking about that, I would like us to take example from a team in Spain. It's talking about Villarreal. Villarreal is a team that has surprised many this season. Of course, they've not done so well for themselves in the league by their standards, but this is a team that knocked out the likes of Juventus, the likes of Bayern Munich in the Champions League. And when you knock out Bayern Munich, you know what that means. And of course, you want to talk about the previous season, they won the Europa League at the expense of the likes of Arsenal and Manchester United. So under Coach Unai Emery, this has been a team that has been upsetting many of European heavyweight teams. But the point we're trying to take concerning the context we're putting this episode on is the fact that Villarreal went into the final game of the season hoping to qualify for the European Conference League. No Spanish team has ever participated in this newly inaugurated competition, just started this season. So they had a chance of participating in that if they can match or better Athletic Club's results at the weekend. And so they had a huge mountain before them, which is Barcelona. In 10 years, Villarreal had not won at the Camp Nou. They had a chance of doing that again. Barcelona went to Camp Nou knowing that if only they can focus on themselves and win the match, then they would be in the European Conference League. And this they did in a very, very unique fashion, scoring in both halves and defeating Barcelona at their own ground. So what a feat for Villarreal, showing us an example of how to take responsibility for your own life and not wait for external opportunities or external circumstances to favor you. Of course, I'll repeat that this is not to put any dents. This is not to soil whatever Liverpool has done this season. Liverpool have been one of the most fantastic teams this season, almost en route to winning quadruple. Now they still have a chance of winning a triple. So no normal football fan would even attempt to downplay the kind of achievement Liverpool have had this season. Even if they don't win the Champions League, they will still have had a very, very good season with the kind of performances they've had. So kudos to Liverpool. But we're just taking this to context in terms of our lives, our businesses, and many other things we do. That boy, you don't have to wait for someone to help you. We need help at all points, but there are certain times you need to realize that this is about me. This is about trusting in the help that God has created in me. There is a helper in there. If I am a child of God, I believe that there is a helper in there who whispers to me, who tells me what to do part time. So if I yield and I follow his instructions, being responsible for my life, eventually I would be celebrating regardless of what happens elsewhere. So, short as it might have been, that is it on Sport Vibes this week. I do hope you learned a lot from that. Several leagues already concluded. The French Open is up and running. Several actions on the world of sports. I want to talk about the Golden State Warriors doing themselves a lot of favor in the playoffs, and several things happening in the world of sport. But as you enjoy the excitement and the ever buzzing realities in the world of sports, don't forget to learn lessons. Don't forget to see things, see people you can learn lessons from as individuals who are working hard to achieve things they set their sight on. Don't forget to learn lessons from there. My name is Bolaji Alimi, the Sport Pilot. Till next time, be thankful. Thank you so much for watching Sport Vibes on DNT Work. If you enjoyed the video, ensure you subscribe, like, and share the video. Thank you.